and I liked search. So that's when I started off this first product of mine, which is called Hudki. Like I said, that means search, right? And it was an aggregator. There are similar products now, you would say. So let's say, for example, if you are looking for a used car, you would go to this website, search for whatever category of cars that you want, what is the price that you want, second-hand cars, not new ones, and it would find your search criteria for whatever your search criteria is across all the various websites, maybe a Car Deco or whatever other sites are there. It will aggregate from all of that and present to you. And it would provide like deep insights. For example, there were some interesting things we would find. We were trying to analyze what are the price trend for a Benz versus what is the price trend for a Wagoner. The Wagoner price trend will go like it's a straight line moving in a. It's like a linear line that keeps moving. Your voice is. Oh, is it? How is it now?
Yeah.
So
it's okay.
Yeah, a Wagoner kind of a vehicle would have a very linear kind of a price change, but it's something like a Benz, for example. It will go like this. After the 4th year, there will be a huge drop in the price. So we would get a sense of where, if you want to look at a Benz, what is the best year to buy it? It's typically at that time. This was around 6 years back. It is around the 4th to 6th year is when you should buy. After 6th year, the price doesn't change. Once it goes down, it's again linear. It was a B2C product, but I knew. But see that once you have a B2C product, the way to make money in that use case was to build an operation-rich part of the company behind it. Let's say you found an interesting car. After that, this company should come in and help you close that purchase. It could be maybe background check. It could be maybe checking whether the car, something is wrong with it or not, etc. So you'd have to become a very operation-rich company. But that's not my strength, and I was also not too interested in it. It's not. See, as a founder, you have your own strengths and weaknesses, right? And you will try to kind of align what you are trying to build so that there is a level of satisfaction for yourself also. You can't be doing something that is totally against. If you get up in the morning, you should feel like you're actually going to work that you like. So I knew I can't be doing a very running an operation-rich team. And where the technology is secondary. So I kind of gave that up after a couple of years. That's when we
gave that up and sold it, or?
No, we didn't sell it. We just shut it down. And that was actually one mistake that I did, because after I shut it down, maybe a year after I shut it down, there was a kind of a spurt around this kind of aggregators.
Aggregators, yeah.
Around 2013, 2014. So I got calls after a couple of years. I know after a year or so, where people said, "Hey, where is the technology? Can we buy it out from you, etc." So then I didn't have it. I just kind of dumped it. That was a mistake. I think whatever IP you build, you should kind of maintain it and see whether it can be useful for somebody else at least. Yeah. So that's a learning of its own. So I kind of moved from there. I still like search. So there was a transition from search of these aggregated information to search of resumes. That's where I moved into. And that's where I went into recruitment during that phase. So there it is. I was doing search of cars and real estate. I moved into search of resumes. And that's the transition into
resumes. Yeah.
So that's when I landed in Hirewand. And Hirewand, I've been with it for almost 5.5 years now. So
5.5, yeah.
Almost five plus years. And this is where this is a sourcing automation software. So that's what we are working with. And there also we have had a lot of learning. I mean, we can come to that. So that's how I finally landed up in Hirewand, actually. Hirewand is a company now.
Yeah. So coming to Hirewand, your end user is who? Corporates or agency recruiters?
So today it is agencies. When I say agencies, in fact, our hyper focus is on staffing companies. These are companies, US-based staffing companies. Yeah. And not even, one is mass, and they're also these companies that they don't transfer the employees to the thing. So you have this 8%, 10% cost, and then it's like you do recruitment and hand over the employee to the companies, right?
Correct.
And they become the employees of that organization. These are companies which would keep so they find a candidate, they keep them on their roles, and then they place them. It's also called temp staffing in India.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Got.
So in US it is staffing, and these are high-end candidates. So these are not blue collar workers, and these are actually you would have a rate of maybe $100 an hour, anywhere between $40 an hour all the way to $100 an hour kind of again. So these are staffing companies, and our clients is around that. Most of our clients are there. In addition to that, we also have agencies. In fact, there are agencies who are our clients also. And then there are corporates. There are not too many, but there are few companies who are corporates. So it ranges across the board. And we kind of help them in, see, our focus is on two things, Prakash. Sourcing and automation, right? Sourcing is, see, recruitment is a long cycle. It goes all the way from somewhere in the mind of the hiring manager, there is a need that arises, right? That I need somebody. From the moment that need arises, all the way till somebody becomes an employee. Yeah, post onboarding, till he becomes an employee, is recruitment.
Recruitment, yeah.
I knew from the beginning that that's a big cycle. So I can't, you can't be over ambitious in that way, saying that, you know what, I'm going to build a software which takes care of everything. So instead, I said, hey, where do I focus in this thing? This is a very broad area, right? What's that space where I can focus on? And I kind of arrived at sourcing and sourcing automation. So sourcing basically to me means the need arises all the way till I found you a candidate. That's it. That's the point at which we play. And then say between these two, let's say whatever activities need to be done, that activity needs to be automated. Okay, that automation is the need. So sourcing, automation, that's the combination that we live in. And we are also focusing on corporates now, especially now we are moving on to corporates. But our focus is always around sourcing and automation. That's where we want to be focused on at the moment. And we build our capabilities based on, I have a mental thing. Is this part of automation? Then it is included in the product. If it is about one new screen that needs to be added in the product, I don't add it. That's not the product is about. So if you see our thing, the number of screens is very, very low. You don't have additional forms. You don't have to put in data. It's kind of a principled way of building a product for us, where everything is automation, which means you should do a bunch of things that reduces the job of the recruiter, continuously reducing. Our goal is to say, hey, if I do this, how many minutes will he save? If I do this, how many hours will he save? If I do this, how many minutes will he save? It's only about saving. For example, if I do this, he needs to add 2 extra information every 1 hour. We don't do it. So anything where you have to add information, we just don't do it. Everything where we say that, oh, this means 15 minutes will reduce in his day, that is something that we will do it. So that's how we and the functionality is focused around sourcing, not the whole overall. That is purely because we are a small company. I don't have.
Okay, but can you just go a little more deeper on when you say sourcing? What steps?
Yeah. So for example, let's say one workflow. Imagine this. As a recruiter, I'm an agency and I'm an individual recruiter. I just got a requirement into my system, right? The moment I got a requirement into the system, somewhere in the system, maybe you have an application tracking system and it landed up there. A thing pops up somewhere in the corner where it says, hey, do you want, that thing that pops up will be Hirewand, and it will say, hey, do you want me to handle that requirement for you? Shall I kickstart automation for it? You will say, okay, yes. The moment you say yes, it will open up something and it will say, do you want to reach out to this candidate? I can reach out and check whether he's interested or not. A bunch of candidates. It will say, first is I am going to search for candidates from I will search within your job boards. I will search within your internal database, which I've built for you. And if you want, that is one thing I can do. And then you can also tell me that, hey, you know what, keep searching. Maybe every day keep searching once in a while. And tell me whenever there is a new candidate who matches this requirement, who has come in anywhere, either on the job board or in your internal database. Third thing you can tell is saying, oh, you know what, reach out to the candidate. Not only find out that there is a new candidate who came in into Naukri, for example, but then reach out to that candidate, send a mail or an SMS to the candidate, find out if he's interested in the job that I have at this moment. If he's interested, then I will talk to him. So if you see, what I have done is, I've done a search, consolidated search across multiple sources. I have done kind of I am not only consolidated search, I'm again and again and again doing the same search every day instead of you having to do it as a recruiter. Then third is, I'm even reaching out to the candidate and finding out if he's interested, and maybe even ask him a couple of questions like, hey, what's your current CTC? What's your notice period? Would you be willing to travel to Yeshwanthpur? So some Yeshwanthpur is not place. That all of this can be automated. And then I can hand you to the recruiter. Recruiter still continues to take the ownership of this workflow and then take it forward. But we have just crunched that that effort of the recruiter for having to do all of this through automation. That's the goal.
So when you say automation, it is only everything is over email?
Not necessarily. So when I say automation, automation is a set of activities. Say, for example, one automation is consolidated search is an automation. What does that mean? When there is a requirement, somebody has to go search in Naukri, somebody has to go search in Shine, somebody has to go search in your internal database. And all of this together, you have to bring up, say, these are the 500 good candidates from across all these channels, right? Who is doing that today? A recruiter is doing it. He is going and doing those Boolean searches and giving all those criteria and doing it.
Right.
What we are telling them is, I can simplify that. If you're taking, let's say, 1 hour to do that for a search, I can bring it down to 5 minutes, because I am going to search across all of these job boards, across your internal database, put it all together and present it to you. So that I can bring it from 30 minutes to 5 minutes. Let's assume, just some numbers. The second part is, invariably, if you're either an agency or you're a corporate, the requirement doesn't close within a day, right? You may have to continue the search over a period of, let's say, 1 week or 2 weeks. Now, today, who is doing it? The recruiter will have to remember saying, okay, I have these 20 active requirements. Tomorrow when I come in, okay, let me search for all the 20. Then day after tomorrow, again, I have to search for all the 20. What we are telling them is, don't do anything. Forget about it. I mean, once you have created the requirement and you're told the tool that you have to continue the search, you don't do that anymore. Now, next day, after 24 hours, the tool itself will do the search. You don't even have to remind it. It just does the search on Naukri, on Shine, on your internal database again. And so now the second thing it has taken over. Every day, if you had to spend, let's say, half an hour looking back at all your active requirements, instead, we are telling them, don't do anything. It goes from maybe half an hour to 0. You do nothing. Only when there is an interesting candidate, the system will notify you. Either it is through mail or there are notifications that come up and all that. But it will notify you that there is an interesting candidate. Right? So now you see the second automation, which is this continued search. You have just taken it away off your plate. The third, for example, could be, the third is even more interesting. The third is the one where I'm reaching out to the candidate. That could be through mail or SMS. I'm reaching out to the candidate automatically and checking with the candidate, giving him the details, saying that, hey, there is such a requirement. This is the client name, etc., etc. Would you be interested? And there is a button in there where it says he's interested. Or if it is an SMS, he can say, yes, I'm interested. We understand all of that. It's obviously it's a machine learning based system, and it will understand what the response is and then connect them to the recruiter. Now, imagine this one is extremely important, because now I have converted passive candidates into active candidates. Right? If I hadn't done this, if I hadn't done the reach out, what would you have done as a recruiter? You would have had to call 25 people. Out of that, 5 of them would have said yes to you. Right? The others may have whatever reasons, they may say no. With this, out of 100 people, you got only 10 people who showed interest. And those are the 10 people you as a recruiter is calling. So it saved a lot of effort from you in having to call those 100 people. Instead, you're talking to 10. And those 10 have already shown interest. That's so the important. Come with preconceived ideas, right? So as a founder and as a startup and a person selling a company, selling a product, you learn over a period of time saying, when I'm talking to you, am I getting somewhere? We are able to communicate with each other and kind of able to convince each other there is value in the tool. See, we are two individuals, right? I am trying to sell it to you, and there is a tool out there in the site. I built that tool, but that tool is not me. There is a tool there in the site.
Correct.
We both are having this conversation and we are saying a tool like that, is it going to be useful for you or not? And through the conversation, you will know if the person truly believes such a tool is actually not useful for me at all, then you would respectfully kind of move away, right? So that kind of a value sell is something that doesn't always work, sometimes works. So, you just have to figure out a way where it is selling and where it is not working. So it does. But what is happening over a period of time now is people are understanding the value of automation. And as companies like mine, our communication style has also changed. For example, in this whole conversation with you, I have not used AI, ML, all of those terminologies I have not used, right? I have not used the term AI except for now when I started. Correct. It's a conscious decision. It's now when you start using terms like ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all of these things, it's an abstract concept. I mean, what does that really mean? And what does it mean to me, right? I'm running a staffing agency. My employees are coming at 8 o'clock in the morning, working all the way till 5 in the evening and going home. Between that 8 to 5, what is the value that your product is doing, right? And if you say, oh, mine intelligently does a search, but what's the point? I mean, so what's the value? So if I'm doing 10 submissions, can I get 15 submissions? So that, if you want, that conversation becomes harder if you're trying to pitch them a deep technology sell. You're saying, you're continuously trying to talk about AI and ML and all of that. That's a harder sell. But when you talk of simple concepts like automation, right? What am I trying to automate? You're doing 10 different things. I will bring it down to 3 different things. And whatever you're doing, I will reduce the time from half an hour to 15 minutes. That's automation. And that's what I am selling you as a product. It's a easier communication and it's a simpler conversation to have, and it connects easier. So we are also learning. In the process, we are learning how to communicate about our product. And market is also understanding. So companies are coming down to understanding the value of automation, and the fear that jobs are all going to go away, that is also reducing. Right? People, they think about automation today as a way of kind of it's a friendly tool. It's helping you do things better. There is a deep internal roadmap that we have built for ourselves, but it is dynamic in the sense that we take more feedback from the clients, and based on that, we keep building what is the most important one. Right? But with the principle of automation, with the principle of minimum user experience as a core to whatever we are trying to do. That's the first part. Right? And I think from a company perspective, that's it. We're going to stick to that as a model, and we'll keep continuing. And we will always be a small company, and we are always a small product company. And that's, I love doing what I'm doing. I mean, I don't want to change this.
Okay.
Yeah. From
market. Market. Yeah.
So that is that's an interesting thing, right? We are in a very we are in a very funny place where, as a whole species, we have together got into a single problem, which has never happened.
True. Actually, it's a funny place to be in. Absolutely.
Yeah. We have never seen this in our lifetime. Our parents have not seen this in their lifetime.
Absolutely.
So, and it has happened. See, this plague has happened before, but
Spanish flu and all that.
All of that has happened, but it has never happened at the same time across the world. Every country. It is not that one single country says that, oh, you know what, this is something I don't care about. Right? So that's an interesting place to be in. And that you have to build more and more resilience. See, earlier resilience could have simply meant, oh, I'm in multiple geographies. Right? I'm in 10 countries, so I'm a resilient company. That's no longer the case. Across all these countries at the same time, something can happen. And as a company and as a startup, you have to think about ways to survive through this. Right? So resilience have to be built in. And I don't have a good answer to that question of how each company will build that in. One is obviously you can have a cash sitting aside, which will let you survive through. Maybe, I don't know what that number is, maybe 8 months, maybe a year. You have a cash reserve that can kind of take you through. Maybe there are other ways of building resilience. This is something I am learning along with everybody else, I would assume.
Correct, absolutely.
So,
No, my question was more on how do you see what kind of changes? I mean, like, let us look at the kind of news that is coming. Like, for instance, TCS is looking at by 2025 or something, they're looking at 75% from work remote.
yeah.
Organizations are switching. So do you perceive any kind of opportunities there as a someone who's totally into automation? I mean, for a from your business, what kind of new opportunities that way?
Yeah, true. So, see, work from home as a model is going to evolve, and it is going to become more. I wouldn't say it's not more than work from home. It is remote work, right?
Yep.
As an organization, see, leave aside TCS for a moment. So let's say I'm coming up with a new idea. I want to build up a team for myself. So if I build up a team for myself and I am located in, let's say, one place in Bangalore, Kormangla, and if I say, hey, you know what, I'm going to open up an office in Kormangla and let's start looking out for employees, you're very limited because a guy coming out of Whitefield is not interested in joining
Not
your
going
company,
to win.
right? Because they're not going to waste 2.5 hours traveling
Correct.
back and forth to your company. As somebody who is in, let's say, Jalahalli or north part of Bangalore is not going to join you.
Not going
So
to win.
immediately what you have done is the moment you decided I have a physical presence in Kormangla, you have limited the talent that you can acquire within your organization. But let us say you say, hey, you know what, I'm doing a startup, but I don't care where you're from. You could be from Serbia, or you could be from Bangladesh, you could be from Philippines, you could be from Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, anywhere, it doesn't matter. You remove the constraint of space. Now the resources available for you is massive, right? That is the shift, and that shift is already happening. So there is, for example, WordPress, the company that builds WordPress. That is, they don't have a physical location. They have more than, from what I know, they have 1,000+ employees. Right? So that has not been ingrained in the Indian ecosystem yet. Right? We still believe in office and coming to office. This current situation is going to kind of teach us that lesson of how to make that happen, how to have remote and make it work. And maybe because of the learning that we are going to get, maybe remote is going to become the thing. And by the way, you will be forced to do that. You will not have a choice. And
true.
And I think it is good. For example, I am thinking, right, there are people, I know of a person, a friend of mine, who had to go back to Kanyakumari. He's from Kanyakumari, he had to go back there. He loves the place. He wants to be there, but he wants to have a sustainable living, right? So he wants to do something. And this is the kind of work which can be done remote. So why would he have to come and live in Bangalore only? And he can stay in Kanyakumari. Once in a month, he can come here, meet the team, go back. So we have to change that mindset of saying that if I'm in Bangalore, I need to get somebody in Bangalore. Another example. So there is a person I know who has an office in Coimbatore, but he drives all the way to Ooty, and he lives in Ooty. He has on a hillside. He was showing me the photograph. It is like idyllic. Okay, it is beautiful. He's there. His wife is there. He's there. His kids, I think, have moved on. They are working outside, but he's saying, I cannot even, I'm making, he's an entrepreneur and he has an office in Coimbatore, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think Monday, 4 days, I believe, he works out of home. 3 days he comes to Coimbatore, stays there in the office, meets everybody, does everything, and then goes back home. Saying, I'm not going to change this. And his wife has clearly told him, I am not coming to Coimbatore. I'm not going to come and so, and there are people, many people like that. See, imagine if I'm on a hilltop every day morning, I come out and look at the hill range in front of me. Why am I going to go and sit in the middle of a city?
Traffic, middle of the traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. Matters, right? That will change. For sure, it's going to change, and maybe this will kind of accelerate that change. And I want that change to happen, and that's the way we have to work. The idea of having to put everybody bodily together in one space and work together is not. That's not.
It is too risky now. I mean, I don't think it will work out.
Yeah. In today's space, it's not even practical to do something like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Shiva, it was great having a chat with you. We covered quite a bit of a ground and very interesting. Your take on your approach towards the product, the simplicity of the approach. Of course, I will be getting more deeper into the product. I have not checked it out. You had shared me the link. I have not yet checked it out. I just went to the first page. So yes, I wish you all the luck, and to you, to your team, and I hope maybe we can someday come together and do something more together.
Sure.
Also, I would look forward to have you here on the show some other time also.
Sure.
So all
Thank
the
you
best
so much,
to you.
Prakash. Nice talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you on behalf of the listeners of Slock City, and amazing. Great chat.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Can you share? We'll cut.
Yeah.
And so you will be, so we cut here.